Hi all, welcome to another Dave Downey Fly Tying video production. Well, this time you get to see my ugly mug. A lot of guys have been asking, we don't know what you look like, blah de blah de blah. All we see is your hands, the vise, the flies. So I'm doing a wee experiment today. I'm going to be running two cameras. Eventually what I want to do is do some live streams. I want to run 3 cameras, possibly 4, so you're getting different angles on the way the fly's getting tied. So here I'll be tying my favourite patterns. This pattern I was using 2 weeks ago when I was in Poland fishing with Lighty. Lighty was world champion in Finland years ago. He's the guy that's kind of renowned for starting it all off, this Euro nymphing, Czech nymphing, Polish woven nymphs. He's a gentleman, fantastic guy, but when we were over in Poland we were fishing the deniates and we were fishing the sand, and it just seemed to be wet flies was the better setup, to be quite honest. So in the videos, as I said before, all the flies that I'm tying, I use them. They're in my box. They're all really good patterns. They're not there to catch the angler, they're there to catch fish. And at the end of each of the videos I'll have a wee link to my online store, which you can buy the flies or you can buy the materials to tie the flies. Or if I don't stock the materials, I will tell you. So just send me a wee message, ask questions, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell for future notifications. It's all appreciated if you're joining the channel and you're new. If you're not joining the channel, it's appreciated if you tell your friends and fishing mates about it. So let's get on with it. So what we're tying today is just a simple, my version of a Waterhen Bloa. It's just a Waterhen blower at the end of the day, but in Poland it was the fly for the top dropper. It was the best fly on the top dropper. There's nothing better than it. I'm tying it on quite a big hook, so we're tying it on a heavyweight champ size 12, right? It's on a heavyweight champ size 12. Bronze, I do prefer bronze hooks, to be honest. And it was setting the hook quite well. I'm using the sheer 14-0. That's a pale yellow, the same stuff that I use for my wee olive. We're going to need some mole's fur, just standard mole's fur. Now, obviously Waterhen wings are quite expensive and quite hard to get hold of. If you really want to use Waterhen wings, I suggest you contact Coot. Steve is probably your best bet, but I just use Coot wings. Coot wings are just as good, and I don't think the fish really care that much. So I'm going to use Coot wings. We're going to get started. So we're also going to need a bit of wax, right? And we're going to need a decent set of Hackle pliers. That's the ones that I use all the time, because really I want to get 2 flies out of each feather. So let's get started. So we're just going to run the thread down, but we're not going to go right to the bend because this is quite a big hook. And the thing I like about it is it sits in the water really well, and you know, it doesn't sink too far. It sinks at a decent rate. Plus it's got a wee upturn point, so it tends to be when you bend into the fish, it sets the hook a bit better. I certainly lost a lot less fish on the sand and on the deniates when I was using these hooks. Another wee tip when you're fishing wet flies and spiders, I got this tip from basically Mike Corner. We call him the Spider-Man. So I'm just waxing the thread just now, and Mikey obviously has won the Rivers Nationals twice in Scotland using spiders, right? He's really good at it, and he tends to use a 10-foot 7-weight rod. Obviously a 10-foot 7-weight is quite a powerful rod for on the river, but it lets him get distance. It also lets him bend into fish, and because of the heavier line it sets a hook at distance. So if you're using quite a lightweight line and you're trying to get distance, you end up getting more tangles. He's using 5 pound 5 pound sight free G3, and it just sets a hook so much better. So in Poland I was using my Sage foundation, which normally I find quite a stiff rod, but it was perfect for the wet flies. So I just take a wee bit of mole off. I'm not wanting to dub it really heavily, almost less is more, if you know what I mean. So I've just kind of put it on a little bit, and then I'm just going to, and I've taken the thread halfway back up the hook shank because I want to put the excess thread back onto the hook shank, because there's not really much to this fly, and I'm not touching turns as I go up. I'm trying to leave it so the thread is popping through. I want the thread popping through so you can see it underneath, and when that's wet it just looks brilliant. That's it, really simple fly. but it catches a lot of fish. So now we're going to get the Coot wing. As I say, if you want Waterhen, I've told you where to go, if he's got any. So just try to select a wing, a hackle. So that's a half decent hackle. Sorry, I'll keep looking to the left because I'm trying to make sure that everything's in focus, because it's the first time I've done anything with 2 cameras. So all I'm doing is getting the tip of the hackle, and we'll just pull all the fibres back and then catch that in. Right, so we're catching that in. This is for somebody that's taking up river fishing, these are the sort of things you should be tying. They're a lot less complicated. They do work, and really strangely enough, when I was on the Denai, it's on the second day, there was where I was fishing, it was Slovakia on one side, Poland on the other side. There was 5 Slovakian guys on the other side, and I caught more fishing than all of them put together, and 2 of the guys actually got hacked off and walked away. Now there was fish rising, but I quickly learnt that I fished 16s, I fished 18s, I went down to 20s, then 22s, and I got a couple of offers, but they weren't interested. Now, from past experience, especially fishing in the winter when the graylings start rising, if they're rising and they're not taking the dry fly, put a set of wets on and just start swinging them. Now I was fishing 15 foot, 4 pound G3, obviously like 5 foot apart and 3 flies. My top dropper was this, my middle drop was a Partridge and Orange, and my point fly was the Magic, which is basically just a March Brown spider, but it had a green butt on it. And honestly, all 3 flies were working really well. So just catch that with the hackle pliers. So these hackle pliers are fantastic, and it's the same here as the body. Less is more. So I've only put 2 turns on. I'm not wanting tons on there. I'm not wanting it like a still water hackle. I want it quite thin. That's probably too much. Normally on a smaller hook, and obviously fulling mill, don't do anything smaller than a 12 with these heavyweight champs. But if I'm tying on like a 14 or a 16, I'll actually just put like a turn and a half a hackle, and then I'll have the hackle sitting up the way, and I'll catch it in and then cut it off. But you can see there, I'll get another fly out of that, so I'll leave it in the hackle pliers so I know where it is for the next one. So I'll just build up a little bit of head on this, and even I showed Vladdy this, what I was catching on, and he was quite surprised because of the size of the hooks. I was actually fishing 10s at one point, because I never expected to be fishing wet flies. My wet fly collection's not that great, because most competition anglers tend to shun the wet flies. I know I have, but honestly, as I spent a bit of time with Richard McHattie, who's Rivers champion as well, and Mike Gordner. Richard spent more time showing me how to fish the wet flies. Mikey just spent more time fishing them and catching loads of fish. So I'm just going to varnish that, and then just get myself a wee bit of wire. Just clear the eye. That's it. A little Waterhen Bloa. There's nothing to it, but I'm telling you now, it's a fantastic top dropper. You can swap the Partridge and Orange to the top and put the Waterhen in the middle, but I like the Waterhen on the top. And you kind of go through a phase, the fish are all hitting the Waterhen, and fish are then hitting the Partridge. I mean, actually at one point in Poland I says, nothing's touching this Partridge and Orange, and then the next 4 fish were on the Partridge and Orange. So, it works. I even had a double header in Poland. That's how well it was working, so what can you do? So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll pass it on to your mates. Subscribe, like, whatever, dislike, it's your choice. Hit the bell though, make sure you hit the bell so you can get notifications in future videos. Obviously want to try and ramp up a wee bit, get a bit more things done. So any suggestions, I'm happy with that. Send me some questions. That says I'm here, so just send me some questions. Ask me questions. Questions don't cost money. So go and check out my online store, www.fly-fishingworld.com, or my guiding site. Obviously do guiding, I do teaching and instruction on different styles of techniques. www.davedowneyfishing.com. And thanks for watching, guys. Stay safe, enjoy your fishing, and get yourself out there. Alright, see you later, bye.